Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and coming up here on today's show, we're going to be breaking down everything that the nation needs to know about today. First thing, Las Vegas did not put in any claims for any players, so we will still wait to see if the Raiders decide to bring in any free agents. Now, we're going to talk about Alex Leatherwood because I actually have some good news around him. And then at the very end of today's show, we're going to look at Darren Waller because we got an update on a contract and he has hired an agent. But this is why you subscribe. Jeremy Chuggs and I, we were partying all late last night. This is a show built for diehard Raider fans. We're going to keep you up to date with news, rumors. We're going to teach you some stuff as well, break down some of the contracts, everything that you need to know. So hit that subscribe button. So I get it. This is the Raiders Report. So Mitch, why are you talking about the Bears claiming Alex Leatherwood? Well, when you're drafted number 17th overall and you're expected to be a cement piece for this organization and then you get cut just a year after being drafted in the first round, that's big-time news. But the Bears actually did something really nice for the Las Vegas Raiders, and because they went out and they claimed Leatherwood, essentially they saved the Raiders about $5.9 million. So the fact that they claimed him, the Bears now are on the hook for Leatherwood's contract. You're still going to have to pay him a little bit of money, but the Raiders now save $1.31 million in 2022 and have a $1.96 million dead cap hit instead of you would have had according to my notes here, $7.86 million hit throughout like the entirety of his contract, and the Raiders now save $5.9. On top of that, remember yesterday the Raiders also traded away Trayvon Mullen, and that saves you an extra $2.2. So because of that, we have an extra $8 million that yesterday, I didn't think that the Raiders are going to have. So that right there, very, very good news. So even though I wanted Leatherwood to work out, I wish they would have put him at offensive guard. But as far as I'm concerned, I woke up this morning a Raider fan with $8 million more than I thought I was going to have. So if you come across this video, I want you to spam LFG to celebrate the Leatherwood news because as far as I'm concerned, wipe your hands clean with it, you move on, and now I'm ready to watch Derek Carr. I'm ready to watch Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow rip apart the AFC West. So when you talk about being able to save the money, that's great. But for Chicago, we'll see what type of player they get because Leatherwood did do a halfway decent job, I thought, in the preseason. Like, I actually thought he got ripped on a little bit more than what he deserved. But in the 18 snaps that he played against the Jags, 72.2 overall grade. Definitely struggled against the pass, but that's why I said move him in at guard. Against the Vikings in 31 snaps, an overall grade according to PFF at 59.0. Not the best run blocking grade, and then a pass blocking grade of 67.3. Alex Leatherwood then against the Dolphins had a little bit better of a run blocking grade, an overall of 64.9 on 42 snaps. Overall in the preseason, Leatherwood played in 91 snaps, allowed 1 sack, 4 hurries, and 7 pressures overall. He has struggled, but he didn't only just struggle in the preseason. And when you're drafted in the first round, you're expected to do a lot better. And we just got to face the facts. Dude was bad last season. No other way around it. And 1,104 snaps, 45.0 overall grade. You see the pass blocking grade there. Run blocking grade of 62.1. And then from just an overall stats standpoint, 14 penalties, which I felt like all came in the freaking red zone. 8 sacks allowed, 17 hits, and then 65 pressures. Leatherwood was an absolute disaster. So the fact that Chicago, and maybe I'm going to give Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler a little bit of credit here because I always say that these guys seem like that they're playing chess when everyone else is playing checkers. What if they knew that there was going to be a team out there that was going to put in a claim for him? So when me, we were all kind of freaking out like, man, the Raiders are still going to have to pay him. What if they knew that, wait, somebody is going to put in a claim for Alex Leatherwood? And guess what? It happened. It's why I am going to be putting a lot of my faith here in both of those guys. Coming up next is going to be, we're going to talk about Darren Waller's contract. Also at the very end, I have been told that the Raiders have brought in 2 players to their practice squad, so I'll talk about both of those players. Now, if you want to bet on the Raiders the entire season, there is one place to do it and one place only. This is the #1 sports book in the world. Why? Well, first off, we get the best deposit bonus in the entire world. If you go to chatsports.com/Raiders and you use promo code Raiders125, we're going to give you $125 for free to bet with, right? Like, it's that good. So you deposit $100, you get $125 for free to bet with, and if you're like, well, Mitch, I never know what to bet on. I got something for you. How many of y'all think that the Raiders are going to lose to the Chargers? Exactly. So right now the over-under in this one is set at 52 points. Chargers are 3-point favorites, air quotes, y'all, at home. We know this is going to be a Raiders home game. We know there's going to be a lot more black in those stands, repping for the silver and black out there. So if you want, I want you to go to chatsports.com/Raiders and use promo code Raiders. Okay? Can we do that? Raiders 125, chatsports.com/Raiders. Promo code Raiders 125 is how you get the hook up here. Bet on the Raiders to take down the Chargers. All right, y'all, as promised, next story coming up here on today's show. Let's talk about Darren Waller. I've been saying for months at this point that you got two things you got to do. First, and I made a video about 2 months ago, my number one offseason priority at the time was to make sure that Darren Waller remains in a Raiders jersey and you get him some money because my man deserves it. So he fired his agent, Clutch Sports, earlier in the week. Still has 2 years left on his deal. Then today, on Wednesday, Waller hired Drew Rosenhaus and Robert Bailey as his new agents. For those of you that don't know, those are basically the two best agents. Rosenhaus is probably the best sports agent that there is out there. The person who broke the news was NFL insider Adam Schefter. Raiders tight end Darren Waller, who has been seeking a contract extension throughout the offseason, signed this morning with agents Drew Rosenhaus and Robert Bailey. The hope, Rosenhaus said, is to get this deal done as soon as possible. So if you want this deal to get done, spam ASAP down in those comments. Now, in terms of Waller's contract, he's got 2 years left, but he's essentially right now the 17th highest paid tight end in the NFL per year. He deserves to get paid a lot more money, and we'll talk about some of those projections that we have for him. Has he battled injuries? Yes, he has. But this young man, I'm same age as him, this man right here at 6'6", 238 pounds, he is a phenomenal pass catcher, but what people also don't give him credit for is he can block. And if you're going to be in a two tight end system, underneath Josh McDaniels with Mick Lombardi as your OC, you better be ready to block, especially with the offensive line that we have. That's not how I want to use them. But, you know, when you look at some of these numbers here, even for a guy who's coming off a bad year, 55 grabs, 665 yards, 2 touchdowns, when you look at that from a game basis, he's still averaging over 60 yards per game as your tight end. Now he's not even the number one option. Heck, there's some people out there that think he might be the third option behind Renfro, behind Davante Adams. That sounds great to me. I know personally from an overall talent standpoint, Darren Waller is a top 3 tight end in the NFL, and if you disagree, personally, I just think you're outright wrong. So here's my question, because Waller's a great player. Nobody's ever going to dispute that. But does Darren Waller deserve to be the highest paid tight end in the NFL? Because according to reports, according to my projections, I've been saying yes. Josina Anderson reported that he's looking for $16 million, which is literally right on par with everything that I have said here on this show. So let me know down in the comments section, y'all, why for yes and for no does Waller deserve to be the highest paid tight end in the league? For me, I am going to type my why for yes, but you can't just think of it as $16 million per year. That's not the right way to look at it. You got to look at it as the contract he has, and then you look at the new deal. You smush those together, and then it's going to be a good deal for the Raiders. So personally, I think you got two options. You either extend him and give him a raise, or you just give him a raise and don't extend him. Originally, I was thinking it was going to be like a 3-year type of extension. Now more in the camp of a 1-year extension, maybe a 2-year extension, and at that new extension deal, you give him $16 million per year. If you want to even give him a raise, that's a possibility. But for the Raiders, you got to tie Waller in with Adams, you got to tie him in with Renfro, and you got to tie him in with Derek Carr's contract. And essentially, the way that all those contracts are structured, it's like a 3-year window. I expect the Raiders to do the exact same thing here with Darren Waller. All right, y'all, coming up next here on the show, let's talk a little bit about some of the practice squad moves that have been made. And literally, as I was filming, I got the update here, which is, again, I want you to hit that subscribe button because as soon as we get all the practice squad guys, we'll break it all down for you. So in terms of which players have been added to the Raiders practice squad, you can have 16 total players. I only have 2 names thus far at the time I am recording. First one, Bam, the offensive tackle, the giant guy with the 7'3" long wingspan. He's brought back, and then on top of that, wide receiver Dillon Stoner has also been added to the Raiders practice squad. Once we get the other 14 names, you'll get a video, but you guys already knew that because, again, this is the #1 Raiders show in the world, and I think Jeremy and I have been absolutely killing it. So if you could, hit that sub button.